to Blissfully Aware, the show in which me and my friends discuss what's going on in fandom and nerd news in general. I'm Bliss, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, JD. Hi, JD.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. A little tired, but such is life. Not looking forward to this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, the recent episodes have been like real bummers.
They have been. Last week was fun, but like this week, uh trigger warning, not gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah, real bummer tonight.
So, that's okay. We will get through it and we'll end with some happies and I will be able to lay my head down on my pillow tonight, hopefully.
We can always cross our fingers for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I don't know, should we just get into it?
I guess let's just dive in.
Okay. My trigger warning earlier was jokey, but actual trigger warning right up top for this episode. We are talking about suicide. So if that makes you uncomfortable, we will see you next week. Keep yourself safe, and we love you. But, JD, have you heard of the Inquisitor 3 story that's been going around?
Yes, yeah. Um, in fact, I posted about it on Twitter. And it has absolutely just gutted me.
It's devastating. It is devastating. But so, I'm gonna walk you through some of the chain of events that took place that led to what happened. And, let's get into some bullshit.
All right, I'm ready for some bullshit.
So, Inquisitor 3 was a TikTok cosplayer in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare community who cosplayed a character, Simon Ghost Riley.
Mm-hmm.
His actual name was Vincent, but he also went by Inquisitor. And on October 9th, he took his own life due to allegations of grooming. I'm sorry. I'm just so angry. I I know we're gonna get into it, but I just
It's tough because it's like okay, um, this guy Vincent, um, you know, it's hard because it's unfair to victims who have actually been victimized.
Mhm.
And so it's hard to talk about because it's like, okay, like you always want to believe victims, but then you end up with these situations where you find these I mean this is heinous. This is vile. Like this is like pure evil. And you can it's hard to like with it's hard to characterize this early in the discussion of it because if anybody hasn't heard this story, um, it's been pretty much proven that all of this is false. Every conversation that has been shared has been shared in context, and it's been discovered that this was a plot to um, to cancel this creator. It's difficult to understand motive for this, other than clout or jealousy, or just plain old mean spiritedness.
Mhm.
Because I think it's hard to wrap your mind around. And this is one of the reasons why it's hard to wrap your mind around what aunties do, because this is related to that. This was more fully formed. This was more targeted, and it was very calculated. I don't think they knew that it was going to end like this, but they must have known that this was always a possibility. You know what I mean?
You know, I don't think that sort of thing crosses people's minds as often as we would like to think in situations like this. I think mean-spirited people doing acts of violence like this, because I'm going to call it an act of violence, are just looking to hurt people. I don't think they care about what the consequences of their actions are to that person's life and whether or not it's going to end in the end of another person's life.
As much as I hate agreeing with you, I do.
Yeah. But so, okay. On October 5th of this year, another ghost cosplayer known as Keegan Mask posted a now deleted video alleging that Inquisitor was talking with and grooming a minor who goes by the name of AJ. They have since deleted their TikTok, so I'm not gonna bother reading their TikTok handle. At the time, AJ was an editor for Inquisitor. They were 17 and Inquisitor was 23, but Inquisitor was under the belief that they were an adult. In DMs shared between them, there are messages in which he says to them things like, I love you so much, thank you, honey, I'ma marry you, in a friendly sort of way.
This guy's Italian.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever met an Italian? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I work with a lot of Italians, and they refer to themselves as like your family. I have one who calls herself my mom. She is not my mom. She's my coworker. But she mothers me. She tells me, oh, drive safe and make sure you eat well and say hello to your grandmother for me. And like, I mean, she's like, she loves you. I mean, every Italian loves you. If you're in their scope and you're doing kind things for them and you're their friend, they care about you. I mean, have you ever met an Italian? They speak with their hands and they're very friendly. You walk into their house, they kiss you on the face, okay? Like, he doesn't want to marry you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to marry you. He's saying that because she had done a lot of video edits for him in a short amount of time.
Yeah. I get where out of context it can look sus, but that's where people need to step back and say, hey, wait a minute, let's contextualize this. Because I think we see little snippets of, like the I'ma marry you one. The screenshot of that was shared was a exchange in which Inquisitor says, bro, like, and AJ says, huh? And then Inquisitor says, I'ma marry you. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the context of that. They could be talking about literally anything. So
I feel that it's so easy for people to take speaking in hyperbole and assign meaning to it that was not intended.
So skipping forward a couple days, on October 9th, after a barrage of hate, just an influx of hate for supposedly being a groomer, Inquisitor went live on TikTok and filmed himself hanging himself.
And from what we know, it was off screen,
Mm-hmm.
but the rescue that occurred, because his friends obviously figured out what was going on, probably by his TikTok live. They broke through a window that you could see on screen, and it was very obvious that they were performing CPR. They were being coached through CPR by the 911 dispatcher in Italian, and it was very obvious that that's what they were doing.
Inquisitor's father has posted a video mourning the loss of his son and calling out the people whom he sees responsible for his son taking his own life. And unfortunately, the perpetrators have also released some statements.
Yeah, and statements is what we're going to call them. They are not apologies.
Yeah.
Like, some of them say that they apologize, but they are not apologies.
They're not. But so here's the thing about the whole situation before we get to their statements. This was all a plot between AJ and their adult boyfriend, Tito. There are shared screenshots of a text conversation in which AJ and Tito are talking about having AJ flirt purposefully with Inquisitor and getting proof of him grooming her.
Or like sexting.
Yeah.
Which never happened.
Nope.
Yeah, never happened.
Before AJ changed screen names and faked their way into becoming his editor, tried flirting with messages like, "Oh my god, I love you, date me." And Inquisitor would respond back, "No, I'm not interested, I'm sorry."
Yeah. I mean at every turn, you know, he was letting her down, you know, like there wasn't a I don't understand, you know, where this vitriol for him is coming from, and like why this plot was a thing. Why they hated him so desperately. Because, you know, was he rude to them one time in a Discord server or something? Like, I mean, uh,
was he supporting somebody
boo-hoo.
that they didn't like?
Right, like boo-hoo, you know, like,
what is the reason that is good enough to do this?
to do this, yeah. So, you know, the text conversations between them where her adult boyfriend, she's a minor, she's there's conflicting accounts, but most accounts say that she's 17, and Tito has said that she is 17, but he's encouraging her to flirt and to get recent, his words, proof, you know, so that they can expose him, and he uses the word canceled. Um, and of course, like he has lied all over the place, after Vincent, you know, took his own life, and said, I was looking for evidence to give to the police. Well, that very blatantly contradicts your statements beforehand where you claim to want him to be canceled. That's not going to the police. That's canceling someone. So, and like when you see this, it really does. Obviously, AJ is a piece of work, but Tito was the adult here.
Yeah, and Tito saying in this text exchange, it's not a life or death crisis, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep flirting with him and see where it goes. If he starts to get sexual, then I will expose him. We just need better and more proof. Like, gross.
Gross.
Gross behavior.
And I've seen extended text messages that lead into that. And a lot of it is AJ pushing for Tito to help her. And you know that she can't let it go. And I believe I recall this correctly, he tells her to let it go and she doesn't. So he just like completely gives in. He's just a complete boneheaded idiot. He just gives in and he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll use my massive platform to ruin this man's life because you want to."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, it's just because she wants to. And he says like that she had talked about it in March of this year. So this has been going on since March. That she had mentioned it in March, and then she brought it up again later on this year, and this is how this all happened. So she's been on this since March, and he's just gonna go with it. He's just gonna go with it because she's his girlfriend. And his idiotic explanation that he gave to this one, I forget what her handle is on TikTok, but she's an interesting person. She's a men's rights advocate, which so she's pretty much anti-feminist. Uh, she's way further on that train than I am. I'm pretty anti-rad fem, but she's just straight up anti-feminist, I think. But anyway, he reached out to her thinking that she was gonna, hear him out and be on his side, and um instead she just totally put him on blast. But he tried to explain a whole bunch of stuff to her, and he was trying to say that he was trying to protect his girlfriend. He was trying to protect AJ. Where in the world is the protection happening when you're sending your girlfriend and encouraging her to go in the path of a person you want to call a pedophile and have her entice him? That's like, oh, I wanna prove that this person's a pedophile. I think I'll send my 4-year-old child into a room alone with him and watch a videotape, and watch a baby monitor or
Mm-hmm.
a hidden camera. Like, um, really? You're just gonna send your minor girlfriend. You're just gonna send a child to who you want to expose as a pedo? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That just proves to me that they never thought that he was a threat. They never ever believed once in their entire plot that he was actually dangerous or actually a pedophile.
Absolutely.
Because if they did, they never would have done this. They never should have done this. And Tito gave himself away in his little interview with our, men's rights activist. I should really find her. I should really find your username. He gives himself away. He said, I hoped he was not a pedophile. Well, my dude, he wasn't. That's why this happened. You ruined his life. You called him this horrible thing, and now he's gone. And you did that.
Their name is Roma Can't Get Rid of Me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's an interesting individual. I won't go on any of my pro man rants. But I think she's a little bit more radical than I am. But also, if you're a TERF, you suck. Men, I love you. Um but yeah, like, it's an unfortunate, you know, these are the consequences of Tito's actions and of AJ's actions and of Keegan Smask's actions. And there were two other creators who were kind of in on the hate train for Inquisitor, but they seem to have wisely faded off into nothing. Unfortunately, Tito has remained kind of in the public eye because he's absolutely stupid as fuck. I mean, this guy has to be the dumbest person. If there was a criminal trial or a civil trial for, like, wrongful death, this guy has buried himself 100 times over with the amount of recorded evidence there is because of his hubris in talking to people and in making statements. AJ kind of pieced out after her statement. Keegan's Mask actually tried to make another TikTok. I don't know if it's still up. But yeah, she got blasted. The court of public opinion is decidedly against her. The other two, I don't believe have come back. They have wisely remained invisible. But they were also just minor players. I think they had like very few videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should get into their statements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have Keegan's masks pulled up. Ugh.
If you want to do Keegan's mask, I have AJ's pulled up.
So Keegan's mask says, I acted on what I thought was true, factual information from someone I trusted. At no point did I wish harm against Inquisitor, and it hurts me to hear the news of his passing. But I will not accept death threats, doxing, and false allegations on how I handled the situation. As I said, I acted on what I was to believe was factual information from someone I had trusted and was used. I have taken down all the posts regarding the situation, both out of respect for Inquisitor, as well as the emerging details that the allegations may have been false. I wanted to use my platform for good, to expose allegations to find a deeper truth. I never wanted to escalate this way. I never wanted it to escalate this way. Then on Instagram, they make a separate post saying, all I did was call Inquisitor out for acting like a pred. Look at my TikToks. Nowhere did I state anything other than the fact it was weird that he was speaking to and about minors. What AJ did was wrong, but that does not justify his actions. I posted it for others to become aware and used him as an example. Nowhere did I state I wanted him to be injured. So, yeah. One of those I feel is a little less sympathetic than the other, but neither of them are apologies in any way.
Yeah, no. Neither of those are apologies. And the whole, like, I will not accept death threats, that's really rich. Where was that when people were sending death threats to Inquisitor?
Yeah, I will not accept death threats, doxing, and false allegations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like,
Excuse
what kind
me?
of audacity?
Yeah.
Like, on what level is that appropriate? Oh, I'm not going to accept false allegations.
Yeah. And then to turn around with your whole chest and say you were calling him out for acting like a pred. Like, dude died because of what you did. A person is dead, and you're gonna say not only that you're not sorry for your actions, but that you were calling him out for acting like a predator. So you're not sorry, is what I'm getting from that.
We're calling you out for acting like a cunt. So I have AJ's here. And she's the one who says she apologizes. She says, "I want to apologize for what I have done. I didn't mean to hurt him. I went way too far with this. He didn't deserve that, and I know it's too late to apologize." But she just apologized. But I hope one day you can forgive me for my stupid actions. I'm sorry I got Tito, Keegan Mask, and Bravo '07 involved as well. They don't deserve the hate I created. I'm sorry to every single one of you. I learned from my mistakes. Please just stop sending death threats to anyone that has been saying things about Inquisitor. The best thing to do is just not hate. A person died. Please do better, COD community. I will do better myself. Rest in peace, Vincent. So the audacity in this one is also striking. The best thing to do is just not hate. Why does this girl think she can preach to us? To anyone? Why does this girl think that she can control the reactions of a public who just literally witnessed a man's death live on their screen in their hand and could do nothing about it? That's traumatizing. even if you couldn't see him, you knew what was happening. Like, I mean, this isn't, this isn't like as someone who had someone send me a suicide text one time, and I had to call the police and have the police find him, um, and you know that was one of the most nerve-wracking nights of my life. The immediate adrenaline spike when you realize that something is happening that is a life or death scenario and you can't change it and there's nothing you can do, and all you can do is be there and watch this happen. That stays with you forever. That's never going to go away. All of the people who were subscribed to Inquisitor, who were following Inquisitor and had notifications show up on their phone that he was live, and they went into their live and they're like, what's happening in this room? What's going on? And then all of a sudden they have that sudden realization that something horrible has happened and there's nothing they can do, and all they can do is bear witness. And you're gonna lord over that someone died? Yeah, we fucking know. All those people who witnessed that, they know, AJ. They know someone died. And obviously the weight of it is gonna hit them way harder than it hit you, since you're trying to leverage it in order to try to make people act better toward you and Tito and Keegan's Mask. Like, no, you don't get to control how people respond to trauma. That's not how this works.
Absolutely.
So, like, I love how these creators are angry at, well, and they're upset that they are receiving death threats.
Yeah, the fucking irony.
I know, the irony of this. The irony of this. Because you had to know that, quote unquote, exposing Inquisitor as a groomer or a pedo was going to result in death threats. You had to know that. This is not new. This is not a new thing. The internet's been around for a long ass time, and death threats and taunting and horrible things have been happening for as long as email has, existed. I mean, hell, one of the oldest internet controversies was from way back when, Nikki Katsaurus, uh, people were sending her father crime scene photos of her body to his email. And that was way back when.
Mm-hmm.
People are awful online. And you really think that when you quote unquote expose a guy that you knew wasn't a pedophile, that people aren't gonna send him death threats? Oh yeah, no, haha, it'll be great, haha, this will be a funny thing to do to our arch nemesis Inquisitor. We'll just convince everybody he's a pedo, and then you know he'll go away or something. What? Why do you think people go away when they're canceled? It's because they're scared. Why are they scared? Because they get death threats, they get doxxed, they get all of these horrible things happen. Like, you think it's bad when it happens to you, but you were totally willing to do it to a guy you knew was not a predator? That's disgusting.
It's
That's
vile.
disturbing. That's psychopath behavior. And no offense to any psychopaths. That's untreated psychopath behavior. Unself-aware psychopath behavior. No shade to self-aware treated psychopaths.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you. But yeah, and Tito has said, Tito made a statement that was, my girlfriend is very sorry that this happened. She did not mean any harm to him, and I didn't want to ruin his life. You didn't? No way. That's the reason I asked for more proof and for better evidence so I can make sure that there's a reason I should talk about it. I don't care about all of the hate going towards me because I know I did nothing wrong. My dude, spare me. Anyway, but all of this hate going towards my girlfriend is driving her to kill herself. She's going to starve herself of what happened to Inquisitor and everybody's reaction to it. When she found out about what happened on the live, we both were praying about it. I'm sure that did so much help. Again, she means no harm to anybody. But you could have fooled me. She regrets everything that she said. I just hope the COD community gets better soon. Gets better soon from what? From what? And then he goes on, and another thing, people are spreading rumors that I'm 20 years old and she's 15. I just turned 18 and she's still 17 for a few more months. Anyways, we are both sorry about the, and then I guess I did. My screenshot wasn't big enough. But, like, the audacity is off the charts. All of these people have no empathy. None of these people have any respect for human life and for the severity of what they have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that, like, no single raindrop believes that they are to blame for the flood. But there's only 3 raindrops here. And 2 of them were really, really, really big. It's unbelievable to me that they can be so flippant about a man's death.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It leaves me speechless, which is not helpful for this audio-based format.
Yeah, honestly, like, it, and you know what's even more, what leaves me even more speechless is when Tito is talking to someone, and he says that he was a witness from beginning to end. When she first told me about it, all she did was tell me that he was a pedophile. Then some time went by and she finally wanted to expose him. She was trying to convince me to make a video about it, but I wanted more evidence. That's why she went back to him. She went back to him because of me, not because she wanted to keep flirting with him. So there's where he confesses to putting her in the line of fire, and that was his decision. And he says, so there's my side of the story, and here is the worst thing that he says. And in fact, I think this is the worst thing that I have heard in this entire thing. And I wanted more proof to keep my audience entertained.
Fuck you.
So, when people are talking about, like, oh, what was the motive of this? That is what I believe was the motive for this. He wanted to cancel someone because canceling someone gets you views. Because his audience would be entertained. And if that's not the most ghoulish, horrible, social media bullshit thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is. Like, I get that predator hunting YouTube channels and stuff are very popular, but you don't invent a predator when you're doing that. And not only that, but you don't use actual minors as bait. So, jot that down. And this isn't, that's not your shtick. Your shtick is COD cosplay. Keep your day job. Because obviously predator hunting is not for you. Also, lying is not for you. And staying out of jail is going to not be for you, because if there is a possibility that criminal charges can be pressed, all of this is going to be seen by a judge. At least a judge, maybe a jury. Who knows? But whatever, this is unbelievably cruel and ghoulish.
It is. And the sad thing is, because Inquisitor is Italian and Tito is American and AJ is question mark not American.
Yeah, question mark Turkish? I don't know.
The laws start to get real fuzzy.
Yeah.
Just because one country has one law doesn't mean you can apply that to somebody that lives in a different country at all times. Sometimes, obviously, yes, you can.
Sometimes the worst thing that happens is you are tried and convicted in
the court of public opinion.
No, you're tried and convicted without you being there. I don't remember the word for it, but you're tried and convicted. You're not there, but if you were to, step inside the country, you would be immediately arrested. And in very specific circumstances, like countries seek, extradition.
Mm-hmm.
That for some things that's rare, but if they were to determine that this was like a murder case, it could be possible for certain countries to request extradition from other countries. It depends on what the extradition laws are in both countries.
So, I mean, you wanted eyes on you, Tito. You got them. And hopefully Inquisitor gets the justice that they deserve. There has been a mass outpouring of support and grieving over what happened for Inquisitor. Unfortunately, there is also, as I was scrolling through Twitter today, just looking to see if there were any updates before we recorded, a shit ton of people posting the recording of that TikTok live all over Twitter.
That's terrifying.
So, I hate everyone. That's disgusting behavior. I get that people are curious and, ooh, I want to see what happened, and, oh, somebody died. I want to see somebody die. I'm a little monster.
Go and crud plug like everyone else. Don't put it on Twitter where people are going to stumble on it.
Yeah, it's gross.
It is gross. There's so much ghoulish behavior going on, and just be fucking better.
Be better. Inquisitor deserved better. From what I can tell, they didn't do jack shit to deserve any of this.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, he had asshole moments like the rest of us. And you know what? That ain't a crime.
Nope. But that is basically where we are at with the Inquisitor story. I think we talked about the thing.
Oh, we did talk about the thing, but as a very minor little tidbit. And I know a lot of people were striving for this. Obviously it seems like a really minor thing, but I feel like a lot of people are taking comfort in it, and keeping Inquisitor's memory alive through it. But there was a petition to get Inquisitor his own skin for Ghost in the actual game. And it seems like all signs have been pointing to that they have gotten through to the game designers and the people who do the Call of Duty stuff, and all signs point to that it is very possible that Inquisitor will be immortalized in Call of Duty with his own skin for Ghost.
That gives me chills. That's sweet.
It is really. I'm honestly kind of tearing up right now.
Aww.
So if there's anything, that we can kind of take comfort in, even if it's a really small thing, it's that he's going to be immortalized for tens of thousands of COD players, and he's quite literally changed the game.
Aww.
So it's just sad that he's not going to be able to see it.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, now we've talked about the thing, and I've made myself cry.
Do you have a happy?
Do I have a happy? Oh man.
Tell me through your tears, JD.
Yeah, let me just Let me just wipe these away. Let's see, what's my happy? So I think my happy is my D&D group started the Dragon of Icespire Peak, which is the new. It came out in the new starter set, and it's not like we have to play a starter set because we've been playing D&D for like ever. But this is the first time that this player is DMing, so he's learning how to DM through this starter set, and I have made a druid who is like my interpretation. I don't know if anybody has a favorite porn star, but I do. Um, and uh, and that's Katie Morgan, and she is very intelligent, super super intelligent. But she talks like you would imagine a dumb blonde talks. She was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh.
She's the like ditzy blonde one in
Oh.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. But she actually has like a genius IQ. And she did several documentaries about like the history of sex toys and like history of other not safe for work subjects. And she would do all these documentaries in nothing but like these clear heels. And by nothing, I mean she was just totally naked in these documentaries.
Go off, girl.
I know. she's great. I love Katie Morgan. So I pretty much made Katie Morgan as a druid. So every time I speak, I'm always like, um, I just think that there's some major management opportunities here that aren't being taken advantage of. There's some real communication problems in this fortress, and like it would really really help if like everybody got together on the same page. Which when you say that to a rock gnome in a rock gnome fortress, I don't know if I'm doing the DM any favors, but but it's funny.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. And her intelligence score is actually fairly high. Her intelligence and her wisdom scores are actually fairly high. So she's very much my Katie Morgan of D&D. But yeah, that's my happy.
Well, that's fun. Let's see, what's my happy? Oh, Aspen Hotel had its panel at New York Comic Con.
Neat.
And they released a clip and announced the voice actors. And I am hella stoked. I know not everybody is, but you know what? Fucking, I don't care. I am.
I think everybody should take happiness where they can get it.
Lord knows I do.
Yeah. I think it's a mistake for people to find things that they hate and focus on them.
I think, especially around projects that Vivzy Pop makes, there's a lot of negativity. Also a lot of antis in her fandoms, which is neither here nor there, really.
Better her than me.
But I very much like her work. I find her character designs and animation style to be quite novel. It's different from a lot of what you see in animation, especially adult animation today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked. I'm stoked that A24 picked it up. I'm stoked that Amazon Prime is gonna host it, because that means I can watch it.
Yeah, that means I can watch it too. Heyo.
Without having to like subscribe to something new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the voice cast. Like, I get that people are butthurt that the original cast from the pilot has been completely recast, but That happens with most pilots.
Yeah, it does. A lot of times pilots end up completely recast, like the actual series ends up completely recast.
Honestly, most of the voice actors in the pilot were not unionized. Only a few of them were. So, like, don't think they were gonna get cast anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry about it, has-been fans. Especially Michael Kovac fans. Because there are people big mad that Angel Dust got recast. Angel Dust and Alistair. And I'm just like, ugh.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I know, it's like, I'm gonna enjoy my fun, silly little cartoon. You don't have
Right.
to. But I think that'll do it for us this week. I will be posting a number to a national American suicide hotline. If anyone has other hotlines in their countries they'd like to provide in the comments, please, by all means, I'd love for you to share that with us. Please stay safe and support each other. And if you'd like to find us online, you can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and YouTube at Blissfullyshow. If you're watching us on YouTube, hi, hello. Give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, all the YouTube things. And otherwise, we will see y'all next week. Bye!
Bye!
Come at me, scrub lords, I'm ripped!